G'day kids and mums and dads, Aaron here from Charlie Boots. Thanks for tuning in to another one of our online instructional craft videos. These videos are at the heart of what we do here at Charlie Boots. We're all about fun, learning, and today we're going to be joining the Imperial Navy and building the Star Wars TIE Fighter. So you'll see that the wooden model is enclosed in vacuum shrinked plastic, so it's important to obviously take that off. If you need help from mum and dad to cut the plastic, do that because you don't want to accidentally break any parts of the model. So take your time getting that off, and then once you're finished, it's really important, kids. Once you're finished, it's really important, kids, that you put the plastic in the bin. We don't want that to be a choking hazard for any younger brothers and sisters. Okay, so plastic in the bin. All right, and now we are ready to get started. And always clear yourself a nice workspace so you don't have too much mess in front of you, so you get lots of room to work. And step one, always start at step one, and it says match the board pieces to the numbers on the board image above to find your first two pieces. And step two, pop out only these puzzle pieces from the board. So step three, we need piece one and piece two. To put two pieces together, match up the slots on each piece and slide together. So it really is simple, kids. So we need piece one, which is this piece here. Piece one. And you'll note that piece one has a long slot here. So when you're popping this out, pop from the back first, here, and don't push too hard down there, and then it will come out all by itself. And then we can just slide it up. There it comes. So there's piece one. And we need piece two, and piece two also has a slot. So we'll just take our time getting that out. If you can, if you need to, you can also just break off that little piece there from the frame. We don't need that. And out comes piece two. So piece two and piece one go together. Now it's important that you line up these two pieces correctly. You'll see that piece one has a different from one side to the other. So we position piece one just like it is in the diagram here, and then we slide piece two onto it. Like that, so it goes on all the way. Make sure that's right. It's so important to get this right from the very start. That way everything else will work perfectly for you. Step four, we need pieces 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but we'll only take them out one at a time. So piece three is over here. We pop that out. Could even use the side here to pop them out. Or that little piece of timber took out before. There it is. And piece three goes there. On it goes. So we go 3, 4, 5, 6. On this side, and then 10, 9, 8, 7 underneath. So now we need piece 4, and here it is. So it goes in the next slot after piece 5. And then 5 and 6. So there's 6, and 5 is here. 5 goes in there. And then pop 6 out. Sometimes you might get a little piece of the timber from the frame still attached to the pieces. Just make sure that's nice and clear, otherwise it won't go into its slot properly. 3, 4, 5, 6 are in. Now it's time for 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll find piece 7 first. There it is. 7. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then this piece wants to fall out. We'll take that out, that's fine. Piece 8 is over here. And then 9. We'd also take 10 out now because you won't get confused. So 9 goes in the second last slot underneath. and then in goes 10. So take a moment now just to make sure you've got everything in the right position, and that's how that should look there. And that is, so we've done up to step 4 so far. Step 5, we need piece 11, 12, 13, 14, and they go in these notches here on the back and the front. So it goes 11, 12, 14 and 13. So we can see this piece here wants to come out. I might just take that out for now. Put that over there and put that with it so we don't lose it. So we need piece 11. So pieces 11 and 13 are inside here, so we'll pop them out. There's piece 11, nice and gentle, out it comes. If that piece wants to come out, that's fine. So there's piece 11 and it goes, so we're looking at a model like this, and 11 goes in the back. In there. And then here we have piece 12, which is still connected to our frame. And out it pops. Piece 12 goes in here. Take your time with these little pieces, there's no rush whatsoever. 13 is just here. And make sure these pieces are nice and straight from front to back. So it forms a complete circle around the structure. And then we need piece 14, which goes at the front here. With this model we do a lot of the little pieces first, and then towards the end we put all the big pieces on, which makes it a lot easier. So, that was step 5, where we did 11, 12, 13, 14 in those slots. Now we're on to step 6, and it says here, make sure the engraving on pieces 17 and 18 faces out on each side. Okay. So first of all we need piece 15, which looks like that, and which is this piece here. So there's piece 15, and we need 16, 17, 18, 19. So here's 16. Where's my little tool? There it is. We'll use that to pop this stuff out. If your finger is a bit bigger like mine. And so, just like in the diagram here, we're going to hold piece 15 this way, and the arrow says that piece 16 goes in the very end slot, like that. And then we need piece 17 and 18. Here's 17 up here. Grab my little tool, help me pop this out. And as I said in the instructions, you're going to make sure that the laser engraving is pointing outwards. So we'll turn that around, laser engraving either end, turn that around, and it goes in the next slot to piece 16. And now we need piece 18, which we saw earlier. Here it is. And piece 18 will make sure that our details are pointing outwards, like so. And then piece 19, which was near 16. Just note as well that piece 18 and 19 go on the ends, and there's a gap. There's a slot gap here. Kids, make sure you're aware of that. There's a slot gap there. Don't put piece 18 in that gap. You got to leave that gap open, okay? You see where the arrows are. Alright. Now, we've made that. Put that aside, and then we do step 7. And then step 7 is very similar to what we did in step 6, but we're going to make the underside. So these pieces will end up going on top of the cockpit here, like so. But we're not going to jump ahead. So, We need piece 20, which is here, and there it comes. And then 21. So we have 24 is up here. 28, 21. Where's 21? 21, hiding way up there. There it is. Okay. So, as it has in the diagram, front and back. And so 21 goes at the front there. And then we have 23 and 22. 22 is in here. So we'll take that out. Out it comes, and 23. So piece 22 is in here, and piece 23 is there. And so we're going to make sure we have the detail pointing outwards. In goes 22, and we leave a gap, and then in goes 23. Step 8 says this is our front view, and we need to put our two pieces that we just made on top and bottom. So one goes in here. Oh, put them back in if they come out. Making sure the detail is outwards. So like that. So this is our front view, and this piece here with the single notch on top goes on top and it slots in through there like that. And then the one here with the two notches goes underneath like that. Step 9, be very careful about which way you place these pieces. Refer to the diagram to make sure your piece is facing the right way. The difference is slight. Okie dokie. So, we need piece 25, 26, 28, 27. So, we'll get 25. So, it tells us which way is the front and which way is the back. We make sure that the front and back are in the right positions. And the front is, if you look at the curve here, it's a sharper radius here and less here. So that goes to the front like that. And in it slides. So there's one. And we do the same for 26, 27 and 28. So on goes 26. That, and then we have 27 underneath, and the last one take your time getting this out. Make sure we line up from front to back properly. That's the front, and in goes 28 underneath. So push them as far as they go. And that was step 9. So this is how your TIE Fighter model should look so far. Okay. Step 10 is getting piece 29, which is the cockpit, which is this piece here, the glass windows of the cockpit, and putting that in here. You want to do it so there's a center line here, lines up vertically, which means straight up and down. And that needs to be rotated just a little bit. So we'll just pop that back out. Make sure it's nice and straight. Just putting a little tool under there and working it out gently, very gently. Here we go. And we'll line it up again. That looks a lot better. Nice and straight, perfect. Okay, so now we need piece 30 and 31. And these are pretty small pieces, so these are the actual lasers of the TIE Fighter. 30, 31. And there you go, underneath. If you had a pair of tweezers, that would be a really good idea. One laser, one back in. Right, make sure the lasers are straight. And there they are. Focus on that. Okay. Step 11, we need piece 32 and 33. So here's 32. And 33. So the bigger one goes down first, on top, like that, and then this one on top of that. Oh, those lasers want to keep falling off. There we go, back on again. And then turn the model around so you're facing the back of it for this step. So we need piece 35 and 34. There's 34. And 35 is a ring piece here. So we put 34 on first. And then 35. Like that. And then turn it around again. And then underneath we have 36 and 37. Here's 36. Which goes on first. And then 37, which is this piece here. We've just got the laser etching, always put the laser etching outwards so that you can see it. You'll note there's a hole here, and that's for the stand to display the model. So, step 13, make sure the engraving for pieces 38 and 39 face inside towards the model. So make sure 38 goes inside facing the model. So 38 and 39, I'll show you how that works. So we have 39s here and 38s up here. So on this side you can see the laser detailing there, and we push that through on there. That way you can see the detail. And the same, that was 38, and the same with 39. And step 14 is we do the same on the other side with piece 40 and 41. Make sure you put them so that, don't be like me, put them on there properly. Concentrate, there we go. That's how it should go. I'm just going to take those little laser pieces off for now. Alright, so step 15, we need piece 42. And make sure the engraving pieces for 42 and 44 are facing outwards. So the engraving here goes outwards like that, so we can see it on the outside. And then we do 43 and 44 on top of that. So here's 43, So 43 first. On it goes. And then 44. Like that. Push it all the way on so it's nice and firm. And there's one of the wings. And now we do the other one, making sure the laser detail is outwards. On it goes. And then we have 46 and 47 on the outside of that. As soon as you put the outside piece on there, it really tightens that up, which is great. It's exactly what you want. Looking pretty cool. Looking pretty cool indeed. So, now step 17 is all of these pieces here going in here. So there's 6 per side. So 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, and 53. So here's 48. And they just slide in like this. Really simple. All the way, so it goes all the way in, so there's nothing poking out here on this edge there. This is the part I've been looking forward to the most, just sliding these on. I'm not sure why, it just is. You'll see there's shorter ones for these spans here. So you do all the long ones go in the corners, and then the shorter ones go in the middle. Two shorter ones. And once we've done one side, we repeat the process for the other side. And I'm sure your TIE Fighter is looking amazing and looking exactly like what I'm showing you here. But if it's not, go back a couple of steps, figure out if you've missed something. And yeah, that's fine, it's totally fine. Because the good thing is you haven't glued it together, you know, so it is easy to take apart if you need to do it. So I'm going to do the same now on this side. So start with my long corner pieces. And there you go. And then these two pieces here. One, two. All right. So that was step 17 and 18. Now it's on to step 19, building the stand. And so for that, we need piece 60, which is this little piece here. We'll take this frame off here. That's part of the base there. We need piece 60, which is the piece that will connect the TIE Fighter to the stand. So piece 60, we need 61, which is this one here. Pushing it out all the way. And we need 62, which is right here in the middle. And then we look at our frame, we make sure that every piece has been used, and that way we know we've got all the pieces out. And this goes together really easily. We get piece 60, goes at the top here, like that. 62 slides on the 61. And then 61 goes onto the bottom of this ring frame here. Which you'll note, for the Star Wars fans, this is the same symbol, or very similar symbol to the Empire symbol, this one here in Star Wars. Just a bit of a fun fact. And then very last step, step 20, woo, is mounting the fighter to its stand. If you want to, sometimes you may just want to take it off and fly it around. I think it's pretty cool. And so, get a good look at it. And when you push this on, don't try and push from here. Get your fingers right in behind, underneath, and then push it on. And you are done. That looks spectacular. Alright, now that we have our TIE Fighter built, it's time to paint it. And for that, we're going to need our brushes. We're going to use a piece of cardboard that came with the TIE Fighter kit to put down so we don't make a mess of our table. We're also going to use the other piece, and that's going to be our palette for mixing up paints. So we'll put that there too. We'll need our connector pens, we'll need some clean water, clean our brush, we'll need our paints, and our Star Wars booklet to look at how we are going to paint it. And as I said before, there's lots of different options, but we're going to do it the traditional TIE Fighter replica. So, first thing we need to do is I always like to clean my brush before I do any painting. And here's my brush. So what I'm going to do is I've got my water here, and I'm just going to wet my brush and soften the bristles, and then I'm going to wipe off any excess. This is just water, so you can use your hand. Either brush it on your hand, brush it on a piece of cardboard, but that, just like that. And so we're going to mix up some colours, and we need to get, it's a very, if you look at the picture on the front there, it's a very soft grey. So that's what we're going for. So I'm going to use, I'll move this back a bit, I can show you my mixing. I'm going to use my cardboard here, and I'm going to get out my white paint, and I'm going to put, for this I'll probably do a ratio of white to black of 5 white to half a black, or something like that, because there's a lot of model there to paint, so we need quite a bit of paint here. And I'm not going to mix it in my pot because I don't want to then ruin my white paint for any other models I'm going to do. So I'm going to get the paint out, and I'm going to put it here on my palette, which is a piece of cardboard. And I'll wipe off the excess, maybe one more for good measure. And then I clean my brush. Right, so brush is clean. Now I'm going to get my black. I'm just going to put the smallest little bit of black in there. I don't want to do too much. This really is a very, very light grey. So I'm just going to dip my brush in there. That's it. It's going to dip the brush in there, and then I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to go from the outside to the inside and bring all that paint into as tight a pile of colour as I can. And you can see how quickly just that one little bit of black changes that white. And I think we've got that right. So that was 6 whites to half a black. Or you could say one black to 12 whites. It's just a way to explain the colour mixing ratios that we used. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get my model, and I'm not going to paint the stand. I'm going to leave the stand that really nice timber colour, but I am going to leave it connected, so when I do my painting, I'm going to be really careful around the underside here not to paint my stand. And what I'm also going to do is be careful not to put too much on the laser etched details on my model, particularly the glazed window cockpit here on the front. I really want to make sure that's going to be visible once I'm finished. So it's time to get painting. So just putting the finishing touches of the white grey on here, and you can see I've only done these sections in through here. I haven't done the whole panel, just done the areas where we need it to be, and I haven't got any on the stand. And now we're going to let that dry, and then we'll use the black marker to colour in all the other sections. Alright, paint's dry. Let's get our texture out and start doing the detailed section. So we're going to start with the black because we're going to do our black panels here. You can also paint this black if you wanted to and do it that way, but I'm going to use my texture because it gives you guys a bit more control. And the first thing I'm going to do is do our windows here. And so we'll start in the middle. Being ever so careful, just stay in the lines. Which means if you have to sneeze, put your artwork down so that you don't sneeze on it, or move your hand. So I am going to actually paint these panels here inside them black, but before I paint them black, I'm going to use my black texture to do the outlines so I can get it really detailed, and then I fill it in with black paint on my brush. So just clean the brush, make sure there's nothing left on there, and now I'm going to get my texture and I'm going to go around and do all the detail lines so that we don't get any black paint where we shouldn't. There's the first one done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 per side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So we'll get that done and I'll check back with you as I do the rest. So you can see how the TIE Fighter is progressing. I've done this panel and I've started here. And this one I'm just using the brush. I'm not marking it out with the text at first. I just wanted to see how well I could do it freehand, and it's an option for you guys too. So let's have a look at that. Hang on, I'll show you how I do it. So I just put a little bit of paint on the brush. I try and keep a really steady hand all the way along the line I want to paint. Don't knock the camera over. You notice that I'm not going up to the timber parts here. I'm just keeping away from that so I don't get any paint on there. Hopefully don't get any paint on there. A bit more black. And then my hand wants to go a certain direction. I can do a neater job going this way than I can that way. So I try and move the model around so that I work to my best advantage. If you wanted to do a super professional job, you'd actually use sticky tape and an airbrush. That's how the pros do it when they're modelling and they're painting their small models. But I don't think any of you guys at home have a little mini compressor there that you can use, and to be honest, nor do I. So this is how we're going to do it, and this is this is what we supply with the Charlie Boots kit, so that's what we're going to use, like that. So you can also see I've taken it off the stand, so I can do that a bit better. All right, I'll keep on going. That looks fantastic. So kids, thanks for watching this Charlie Boots video. I hope you've learned a lot, had a lot of fun along the way. Don't forget to send through pictures of your artwork to us at Charlie Boots, either via email or on our social media networks. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.